What is up, YouTube? This is Owen Dowell here, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of this microphone system. This is a Neewer CM28. It's basically a lapel microphone system that's wireless and interacts with your phone, your camera, anything that can record video and uses USB-C as a way to potentially interface audio. So yep, that's what I'm going to be doing. The reason why I got this is because, as you might be able to tell, the iPhone has never had the best audio quality, and frankly, sometimes when I go back and watch my old videos, I just can't stand how bad the audio is. I've been meaning to get myself something like this, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So it's pretty simple here. You can see we've got a whole bunch of little specifications and features such as built-in battery and stereo, IPS, wireless, and all that stuff. And yeah, you'll also notice that it does come in this really cool looking kind of AirPod style carrying case that also charges it. So, and you'll also see that you get two of them. So that's actually kind of nifty. All right, so let's go ahead and crack this thing open. There we are. And cutting in to this. All right, so opening the box just like that. A little bit of a magnet system. Here we go. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Boom. You will see. Let's get this stuff off of here. We've got a manual right here, which I guess is useful for, obviously, learning how it all works. That's a really big manual. Wow. This, I wonder what the English section is. Probably. Okay. That is your English. Very nice. And look at this, here we are. This is the product itself. So it looks like we do get this nifty little silica gel just to keep things dry. We get a, I'm guessing, oh, this is a carrying case. Wow, that's actually really sick. And inside of the carrying case, we get some cables that we can use to charge it. So it looks like we get the, this is for devices that require a headphone jack. 3.5 millimeter. Oh, we get a dead cat. Look at that. I did not know this came with a dead cat. That's really cool. We get some USB cables. You'll say USB-C to USB-A and another USB-C to an angled USB-C. So that's interesting. I wonder what that's for. Probably one is for charging this particular device's box here. And here we have the thing itself. So let's go ahead and check this out. There we are. Decent build quality. And opening it up, ooh, look at that. Everything lights up. Wow, that's actually really cool. Okay, I'm guessing, okay. That was interesting. When I opened it the first time, this one was blinking blue and this one is blinking red. Now they're both blinking red. Guessing maybe they're both charging. Looks like we take this out. What do we get? So this is one of the mics, and it comes with this little adapter here. USB-C there to USB-C there. I'm not really sure what that's all about. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on this, I'm not gonna lie. But you also get this nifty little clip, so you can clip it to your shirt as a lapel mic, which is really awesome. So you actually get two of those. Let's see, that gets there. And then you have the actual receiver, which also has a clip, interestingly. And this should, yep, have a USB-C, and then you can use one of these to connect this to your phone. Wow, that's actually a pretty decent little screen on that. That's actually really not bad. That goes you the, actually you can see it's able to hear, if I pick this up, it's able to actually hear as I'm talking into this microphone right here. See that? It's able to pick up an interface with the actual audio coming in itself. That's actually kind of nifty. I will be doing a quick little test and demonstration of how this thing sounds, so stay tuned. All right, so I am now using the mic, one of the mics. It's clipped to my shirt like a lapel mic. This is what it sounds like. Hopefully it sounds a lot better. I'm also gonna kind of walk around a little bit just to kind of see. So I'm actually nowhere near my phone right now, which is pretty crazy. Actually, while I'm over here, let me get my iPhone 11. I'm gonna film what I'm seeing on my end. So with my iPhone 11, this is what I'm looking at as the user of the mic. So you can see you can see the screen right there. One of them, as you can see, is actually, registering that I'm using it to speak. And yeah, it is a little weird because the screen appears to be upside down. Although maybe that's user error. Maybe I should have the screen facing the other way. But then again, at the same time, then it'd be underneath the phone and it'd be really hard to look at. So there's that. But as you can see, it is plugged in, and that's what the receiver looks like. And if I turn this around, that's what I look like with, hang on, that is really zoomed in. That is what I look like with the mic on. So pretty cool. I hope I sound decent. I hope I sound a little bit better. And yeah, now one other thing, I didn't actually realize this other adapter here is a lightning adapter. So if you have an older phone with a lightning cable, you can actually still use this mic set. So it comes with the USB-C right here and the lightning right here. So that's actually kind of sick. It really increases the versatility of this. And like I say, you can actually take this one out and you can mic 2 people. I'm not going to do that because that'll probably throw off things. Or actually, I think it is already throwing off things because, yeah. Oh well. Actually, I think maybe that's fine. It's probably just going to be one separate channel, like 2 separate channels. All right. What's up, everybody? It's actually a couple days later, and I just got back in from a quick walk by a busy street, and I took that as an opportunity to do a real-world test of these microphones. So basically, you can hear what it sounds like next to a busy street. So you'll be seeing that after this, but I did want to come on and give a quick demonstration of this microphone system's features, some of the ones that I think are worth knowing about. So that's basically what this is. All right, and you also notice that I do have the receiver out right here, and I also have just one microphone in here. That is because I am currently recording this portion of the video with this mic system. And I wanted to be able to have this available to show you guys certain aspects and certain functions of this screen. So this is the receiver. You'll notice it does have a couple buttons on here. We do have a power button, which if I press that will turn it off, so I'm not going to press that. This is actually a line out, so if you connect this to a DSLR, or I believe you should be able to connect headphones to this, which I did try and I couldn't figure out how to get it to happen, but I believe you can use this to also attach monitors so you can actually listen to yourself live kind of as you're talking. Not really entirely sure, but yeah, that's what that is. But I do know that this is how you interface this receiver with a digital SLR camera. This is actually a mode button. And if you take a look, we have this right here, which looks like a wireless signal. That is actually the noise sensitivity. Now, it's actually currently set to the highest sensitivity, which is not where I prefer it to be. I actually prefer it to be one level down. But if I go ahead and press this button, we now go to the lowest sensitivity. So now I should be a lot quieter. Press it again, I get a little bit more sensitive. Press it again, a little more sensitive. And like I said, right now I've had it set to this right here. I assume when I was plugging this whole thing in, plugging in this cable, I might have accidentally bumped that button and knocked it up to 1. That's one con that I've noticed about this that I don't really like. Let's go back to the standard setting that I like. When you are connecting this to either a cable or your phone, it's really easy to accidentally press these buttons and change settings while you're doing that. So make sure you double check the screen before you start recording, unlike I did, just to make sure that everything is good to go. You'll also see that as I'm speaking, the left channel is reacting. That is because the mic that I am using is mapped to the left channel. And we do have a wireless signal there. That is actual wireless signal to show that it is connected and paired. And then that's the battery life, all right? So that is that. Now there is one other cool feature. If you press and hold the mode button, you'll see right now we are set to mono. You see that right there, the mono. If you press and hold it, and you have to hold it for a long time, now we're in stereo, and you should only be hearing me on the left. And if I were to take this microphone out, this becomes the right channel. So open that up, and you should start getting, whenever it starts reacting here, yep, there you go. We should now be getting the right channel coming in there. So that's actually kind of interesting as well. Close that gently because it is loud. All right, and then we have this one other feature which I don't really fully understand. If I go ahead and press and hold this again, This is some kind of thing where I think the left channel is louder than the right channel. I think this is probably useful for interviewing people if you want to hook this microphone up to somebody else and then you wear the left channel, the mask, I guess in this case the primary channel, then yeah, you're gonna have the more I guess dominant voice over whoever you're talking to, but you can still hear them clearly because they're mic'd. So my preferred setting is actually going to be the mono setting, which is this one right here. The reason why is because that's typically what I do when I record my videos. Since I'm always walking around my phone, and obviously before I had these microphones, it would sound like I was walking all around your head. It was really, really disconcerting. So I'd always make it mono, but now I can actually record by default in mono. So I am actually going to set this to stereo because what this is going to allow me to do is this is going to allow me to mute the right channel because I obviously do want to show you guys the functions of these microphones. So let me go ahead and open it and take it out. And yeah, we should be muting this channel from here on out. All right, so this is the transceiver or the transmitter as they call it. It does have a power button of its own, so you can actually turn it off via the power button. I'm not gonna do that. And then you also have its own mode button. Now when I press this mode button, you'll notice that we have a light down here on the bottom. When I press it, that light actually turns on, indicating that we have entered a noise canceling mode. So one interesting thing to notice though is that you might notice the microphone that I'm using to record this video sounds completely the same. That is because only this microphone is on noise canceling. It does not affect both of them. Now, if I press and hold the mode button, we actually get a red blinking light. This actually indicates a recording is going on. This actually has an internal memory. I believe it's recording it to the receiver itself. And as you'll notice, the receiver has a red record over the right channel, indicating that it is recording. So yeah, we're actually recording a file, an audio file. I think it's going to this one. I don't know if it's actually being stored on the microphone itself. And another thing you can do while recording, if you press it again, it'll actually start flashing blue. This just indicates that you're recording with noise canceling turned on. And so we can go ahead and turn that off and we can kill it by holding it down. Now we're no longer recording. So that is that. It also does have an audio in right here. So if you want to plug in your own microphone, if you have an external microphone that you want to hook up to this, you can actually do so. And then it'll be, wirelessly transmitted to this receiver. And it also has a USB-C port, which probably does something similar. That's the thing, it might, I don't know. I need to look and see what happens when you plug that in. It might actually be storing the audio file on this itself. I'm not really sure. Each one I think might have 4 gigabytes or each one might have 2 gigabytes. I'm not really entirely sure how that works. I'll try to get a better understanding of that as I'm editing this video. But yes, that is that. Let's go ahead and put this, actually let's leave this out because I do want to get onto a couple things about the case. I think the case looks great. I like the yellow accent inside. One thing I will note though is that when you open it, this is the battery indicator light and it's a little bit ambiguous. I think we're down to half battery, but it does kind of look like all 4 lights have lit up when you open it, right? Or at least 3 of the 4 have lit up. It's a little bit ambiguous. It's not the best quality light indicators. So I think this is at half battery and that means I'm gonna wanna charge it up here pretty soon. Now, another thing about this case that I'm not the biggest fan of is the way that these adapters are actually stored. You'll notice that they are just held in place by these plastic clips. So this is problematic because when you take a microphone, like this one, and you take it out, it's really easy to accidentally take the receiver out and then you might just not even realize you're holding it and drop it. And if you lose that in the grass, you're not gonna find it. Like, look at how small this thing is. This thing is teeny tiny. So I wish this had a little bit more of an inset design, or maybe it was just designed so that way this plug would go down into the thing itself just to kind of hold it in place more securely. I don't know, I think they could have done that a little bit better. If Neewer makes another version of this, I think they should definitely consider making those adapters a little bit more secure. And one other interesting note, you'll notice those things on the top. Do you see that? Those are actually, I thought they were contacts for in case you were to plug the microphone upside down, you would then be able to close it on there and it would still charge. But as you can see, the mic doesn't actually fit in upside down. All right, those are actually, if you barely close it, you'll see those are actually UV lights, which I think is there to sanitize. Now, one thing it is important to note about that. If those are sanitary UV lights, those are going to be UVC lights. And it's really important that you don't expose your skin or your eyes to those lights when they're turned on. It's not gonna happen because you see those little contacts right there? Those contacts are what actually connect the lights to the battery itself and power it. So when you open it, there's no way the lights can turn on. They have to be connected to these terminals to turn on. So that is just something to be aware. If you do barely open it like that, it is possible to potentially get UVC exposure. So be very careful with that. Obviously that shouldn't be an issue. I think when you load everything back in, you're just gonna slap it shut and put it away. So not a big issue. And also one other thing to note, I have confirmed that after about 30 seconds or so, these lights do automatically shut off. They don't just stay on and drain the battery. They do shut off on their own. You might notice that the top gets a little bit warm where those lights are. That's just because they're on and actually sanitizing the microphones themselves. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. I'm a really big fan of these. I'm gonna be using these for my videos from now on. So hopefully we'll get better audio. As y'all will soon see, the iPhone's built-in microphone is just so terrible, especially in the outside demo that I just recorded. You'll see what I mean. It really is not a great microphone. All right. What's up, everybody? It's a couple days later. I'm actually taking a little walk after work, and I wanted to use this as an opportunity to give a little bit more of a real-world demonstration of these microphones, as you can see right here. And yes, that's actually one thing I wanted to point out. As you can see, I'm out and about, and I have these with me. They're very small, very portable, and it's kind of cool. It's like a whole entire microphone system with you on the go. So, as you can see to my right, we've got a pretty busy street, and this is just the iPhone microphone. You can probably hear the cars going by me. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to switch to the portable microphones, to the Neewer microphones, and we'll see what that actually sounds like. So another interesting thing about the iPhone that I don't know if a lot of people have actually touched on or mentioned is when you're using the iPhone, for instance, how I'm using it right now, with the front-facing camera. Hold on, there's a car I gotta go around. When you're using the iPhone how I am with the front-facing camera, the mics are actually directed at me. But the way that I typically use my iPhone when recording is like this with the rear cameras. And now the audio is more focused that way, but I'm behind the camera. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get these mics, because theoretically, this should not sound as good as it did with the front-facing camera. And I don't know if Apple has actually changed this, but I do remember when I had my iPhone 6, it was really apparent. So, but anyway, yeah, the iPhone's audio itself has never been the greatest. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and mic myself up, and I'll be right back. All right, so now, as you can see, I am using the microphone. You'll notice that it's only got one light on. There's a reason why I'm mentioning that. This is the default recording mode. And yeah, I will say the street has kind of died down a little bit, although it's still pretty busy. But there's actually a feature on here that I didn't demonstrate in my last clip of my initial sort of showing of how the product works. If you push the mode button, this yellow button right there, see how that light turned on? We're now in noise canceling mode. So this should give you an idea of what it sounds like with noise canceling mode. And we're getting a lot more cars coming now, so hopefully this is a good little demonstration. Now you might notice I'm not wearing the dead cat. Also, the mic is pointing away from me, which is interesting. I'm not wearing the dead cat. The reason why is because I wanted this to be a very easy, I guess most possible use case scenario. You're probably not always going to have those on you. So yeah, this is just a really quick kind of default test with the mic as it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this portion, and we will get back to my table because I want to go over a couple other things, kind of show you a couple other things about this thing. So yeah, hopefully this was informative to y'all. There goes a bus, and it just did the little brake thing where so hopefully, I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Also, it's really windy, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's all. that is that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much. I do recommend buying these if you are looking for a portable microphone system. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so very much for watching, and adios.
Nails done. I love the girls with their nails done.